God bless America. Hello everybody, I am the Talk Radio Protege. This is the Protege program. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the video of the day. I know it's in the morning and it's not even a political topic, but this is the way my schedule is working out for today, possibly tomorrow. I'm thinking about just doing morning videos for this week, see how it goes, see how I like it. We'll see. I'm still playing it by ear. Also, this is a car video. There is background noise. I do apologize for that, but it's somewhat out of my control. Today, we're going to talk about the Infinity War movie, because I spent 4 hours of my life on this movie, and I'm going to get a video out of it. First off, as its own movie, if you haven't seen the other Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, this is a mediocre movie at best. Let me get that out there. Also, as a disclaimer, I am pre-invested in this movie. That's what the studio is counting on in its audience, is that there is pre-investment, that you've seen the dozen other Marvel movies. Is it 24 now? It's a bunch of movies. Anyway, beware some minor spoilers ahead. You have 5 seconds, and then the discussion with minor spoilers will begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're here, parts of the movie are going to be spoiled. Now, what was great about the movie, in my opinion? First of all, there was a lot going on. There was not a dull moment. There were some moments where the tension was low, the action was low, and the pace was slower, but I don't think there was a dull moment. Number 2, there were a few moments where I genuinely laughed at the exchange between the characters, the camaraderie that was on display. There were some fun, very fun moments, in my opinion, in this movie. But that's really all that was great about the movie. There were some good things, and the chiefest of those would be the individual character arcs that 4 of the characters got. Now, you can see right there on the top of this poster all of the names. That's all of the big names that were in this movie. There were a lot of big names, so they couldn't have possibly given all of them their own individual little character arcs. But the people that got the most investment, the characters that got the most investment in this movie, were Thor, the Hulk / Bruce Banner, and Scarlet Witch and the Vision, kind of together. And I thought those character arcs and those stories were well done. Then there was a kind of a tier 2 story arc that was given to, I'm not sure how to characterize it, but it was the Guardians of the Galaxy minus Rocket and Groot and Gamora. I don't know why they did it this way, but it was Peter, Drax, and Mantis. Peter, Drax, and Mantis, and then Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man they got a story of them together, and then everybody else was just kind of thrown into a ball and bowled down the rest of the movie. They kind of got shafted for this movie. Now, as far as the pre-investment goes, what were people looking for coming into this movie? Obviously, if you're coming to this movie for a particular character, you expect that character to get a lot of screen time, to be pivotal in the movie. for me, my favorite characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe: Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Spider-Man, although this version of Spider-Man, not my favorite. I'll get into that in a moment. But Captain America did not get a lot of focus, was not pivotal in this movie. He's probably going to be much more pivotal in coming movies, or coming Infinity War iterations, but he was certainly not a big part of this movie. He was kind of pushed onto the back burner in the background for the entire thing. You know what? While it's on my mind, let's talk about Spider-Man for a second. I'm going to briefly digress and talk about Spider-Man. In my opinion, the definitive Spider-Man from the comic books has not been portrayed on the big screen. And the reason for that is, number one, Sony did the first 2 runs of Spider-Man, and they were in a big hurry to have Spider-Man grow up. I think that's why the definitive Spider-Man hasn't been on the big screen. Should probably tell you, my version of the definitive Spider-Man is a roast god who, he's the kind of high school kid. He is going to insult you to your face while he's beating you up, and he struggles with growing up a superhero. And what I think Sony did with their 2 versions of Spider-Man was have, they had Spider-Man. He was a kid for a little while, and then he just grew up really fast, and we didn't get to watch Spider-Man grow up. And so that's what I think's been missing from Spider-Man's story recently. Now, I haven't seen the Marvel Spider-Man movie, Homecoming. I'm kind of not watching it on principle because of all of the choices that Homecoming made to appease SJWs. Maybe I'll give it a try just to see if the definitive Spider-Man is shining through in this Marvel iteration. Each Spider-Man has had one moment where he looked and sounded and acted like the definitive Spider-Man. For both of the Sony Spider-Man, it was in the first movie. For Marvel's Spider-Man, it was in Civil War. In Infinity War, he was not, he wasn't roasting anybody that he was fighting. All of his comedy was after the fight, not during the fighting. It was comic relief, not part of the battle. And so you didn't really get the definitive Spider-Man showing through in this movie. Now, I don't want to get bogged down on Spider-Man, so we're moving on. Overall, as a standalone movie, this one is incomplete because it's, as I characterize it, this is the first half of the movie that we've been building to for 10 years. This is only Act 1. There's at least going to be one more part. There might even be a third part later on, maybe in 2 years. I don't know. I quit looking at the Marvel timeline of movies because it took the surprise away for me. So, this is only part 1. The story has not been fully told by the time you reach the end of the movie. So you reach the end of the movie and you leave thinking, well, gee, that was depressing. I wonder what they're going to do next. Although, that being said, it does make you wonder what they're going to do next. It makes you want to go back and see the next movie because you want to see what's going to happen next. Let's see, what else can we talk about? Political subtext. I don't think there was a ton. There were a few moments, I think, where there was a little bit of subtext, just subtly weaved in to the story. You might recognize it if you're looking for it. You'll probably pick out more instances than I did. I didn't go looking for political subtext. I went to be entertained, and so I didn't see a whole bunch of it. But if you go and look for political subtext, you'll probably notice the one or two that I did, and you'll probably notice a few more that I didn't. But that is that's just comforting to me that there wasn't a ton of political subtext that I automatically noticed. What else can we say about this movie? Overall, it was entertaining enough. If you're not invested in this movie and you want to see this movie, you might as well just go and watch the first movie and all of the other characters' runs, and then come and watch this movie, because then at least you know all of the faces that you need to know. The story, as far as how the characters got to the point that they are when the movie starts, is kind of explained as the movie goes along. There's a brief moment in the beginning of the movie where they explain, in a paragraph, that Civil War happened. They don't really explain the very, very beginning of the movie, not explained whatsoever. Of course, if you've seen Thor Ragnarok, you know how Infinity War begins with Thanos attacking the Asgardian ship. So there's that. That part not explained whatsoever. To my knowledge, why Vision and Scarlet Witch are where they are in the beginning of the movie, not explained by any of the previous movies, not even explained by this movie whatsoever. But anyway, I think that's all there really is to say about the movie. Overall, it was okay. As its own movie, it's mediocre. As a Marvel movie, they're counting on you being pre-invested in the characters, in the plot, and in the movie. So, they're sort of phoning in that aspect of earning their audience. But that being said, if they were making an Infinity War movie for people that hadn't seen the first dozen Marvel movies, it would have gotten really, really bogged down in the exposition in the beginning of the movie. So, that's a trade-off. Are you going to play for your dedicated audience, or are you going to play for a potential new audience? And they played for their dedicated audience. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, hit subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Especially if you're looking for the political commentary. That's going to be coming later this week. This is just the video that I got out of the weekend. And we'll see how things go. As I've been telling you, I'm in a tumultuous point of my life as far as my daily routine goes. So that's, of course, going to disrupt recording and uploading schedules. So I thank you in advance for your patience in allowing me to work through this. I hope that you'll come back next time. Until then, have a great day, guys, and God bless.